Hello, I'm Jenny Glick, licensed marriage and family therapist, certified sex therapist. But in this space for you, I'm a mentor, guide, torchbearer, way shower for women so that you can have a life of more ease, pleasure, and joy, because isn't that what most of us want? Today, we're going to be talking about what is going down if you are controlling your partner. Many women who I work with find themselves gripping, clenching, being tense in their own body, and then that comes out at their partner as well. If you're not sure if you're trying to control your partner, notice when it is that you interrupt him or her. Notice how often you question their decisions, tell them how to park, how to drive, how to parent, how to put their laundry in the hamper, whatever it might be that you feel like you need to overwork the dough of how it is that they show up. That probably means that there is a part of you that is anxious, otherwise known as unsafe in your own body. I talk a lot about unsafety on this channel because I believe so much of the anxiety out there in the world is simply fear, because we have been trained to be supremely unsafe in our bodies. We're comparing ourselves constantly to others. Our gaze has been trained to go outside of us, to compare who we are, how we show up with other people. And then the kind of only way, it seems like, to get ahead is to push yourself in ways that don't actually feel like they're in alignment with your own native or organic intelligence, what feels good to your body. And actually, what feels good to your body is often demonized as wrong or bad or slovenly, or the kiss of death for women in this culture, selfish. So let's talk about controlling your partner and what that has to do with your lack of safety. So if you find yourself telling your partner what to do, or thinking that they're stupid or that you know more than them, my guess is you're running all of that judgment through your body first, right? So we can't give someone something that we don't have ourselves. So any thought that you have, any belief, any feeling, any behavior, it is coming out of you towards another person. That means it needs to course through your body onto someone else. So think about like a garden hose, right? If you're running water through that garden hose towards the garden or a person or into a fountain, it has to go through that hose first. It's the same with you. Anything that comes out of your mouth, out of your gaze, right? It is running through your body first. So if what's coming through here is safety, trust, relaxation, innate knowing, that's what you will have to deliver to your beloved. But if you don't have that here, how in the world are you going to extend that to someone else? It's not going to happen. And it certainly doesn't happen in my experience working with families and couples for over 20 years. So what that means is, rather than trying to give your partner another self-help book, rather than telling them what to do, how to show up, or even dragging them to couples counseling, why don't you try this first? The first thing to do is for you to come back home to yourself and practice having a relationship with yourself, learning how to ground yourself, and notice what it's like for you to be with you. Most women don't have a very good relationship with themselves because they are walking around all the live long day with a yardstick where you're comparing yourself to how it is that you think you should be. Sound familiar? Sound like maybe what you might be doing with your partner? And if you're doing that interior to you, you're probably doing that outside as well. And so until you get straight in this relationship, it's not going to be fruitful or useful for you to try to manipulate or control. In some cases, I say that women castrate their husbands if you're married to a man, because all of that gripping, all of that holding on to out here, it's like you're gripping the steering wheel of your life. And it's really popular right now, especially in like feminine spiritual spaces, to talk about surrender, right? Like let go of control. But here's the thing. you're not going to be able to surrender if what you have in here running through this garden hose of who you are, right? If what you have in here is anxiety, fear, worry, regret, if you let go, that's what you're left in. And that's going to eat you up. And so you're not going to want to surrender. I don't care if that was your word of the year. You're not going to do it. What I suggest instead is incredibly simple practices of starting your day and then holding on to kind of this thread of your day where you're staying connected deeply to yourself every single day. Most women are completely practiced at abandoning ourselves, looking outside of us, taking care of everybody outside of you, and then micromanaging what's not working to your liking. Paying attention to every time you want to correct your partner, every time you want to tell them what to do, how to do it. And when that part of you wants to come through, right, this body of yours, take a breath and notice. Notice where you're clenching. Notice where you're gripping. Notice where part of you does not feel safe and you feel like you need to make them show up in a particular way so that you feel safe. You will never find your safety outside of you. Your safety lives in you. You have to start there. You have to practice there. So just notice. And it may be that you notice that you're trying to control your partner and then you do it anyway. Okay, great. It may be that you notice that you're trying to control your partner and you breathe and you explore, is there another option? So we know that there's the timeline, right? It's like a script that you can pick up that will produce the very familiar practices of thoughts, feelings, behaviors, beliefs around controlling your partner. That's always available to you. Is there something else that you can move through your body, right? Like that water through the hose. And we're not doing this in a way that feels like programmatic or canned. You're really exploring what else is available. And so the other piece besides safety that's really important if you want to release control of your partner and of yourself is practicing curiosity. What if the part of you that thinks that she knows what's right and what's wrong with everything, right? What if she doesn't know everything? What if there can be a part of you that you can practice exploring around curiosity, around taking 3 breaths in that moment when you want to correct your partner? Just take 3 breaths. Breathe and notice. And see what happens if you just do nothing. Not because you're trying to shut down your voice, but because you're practicing being in the present moment without the old gripping and clenching. You're bringing the spaciousness of curiosity into that moment in order to see what else might be available to you. So try that. Let me know how it goes. Drop a comment or a question for me. If this video has been helpful, like, subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you again real soon.